What's up, ninjas? Brendan here. Today, I'll be building something brand new with Devin, and here's what I've done so far to prepare for this. So, I've gone and spun up a couple of skills. One is the Grill Me skill from Matt Pocock, and the other one is the Shaping skill from Ryan Singer. And between these two, I have created a set of extensive planning documents. Right? So I started off with requirements.md, which basically was me verbalizing my initial thoughts on how to proceed with this. And then subsequently, using the grilling process, I was able to capture context and eventually produce a PRD and also capture several architecture decision records. Then I asked it, I essentially said create an architecture markdown file as well. And then I handed it over using the handoff skill to the shaping uh, to the shaping skill in another context window, right? So from that, I was able to generate shaping.md, which includes a breadboard as well, and then from there, individual slices for iterative development with I should say 9 different horizontal slices or slice plans, as the shaping skill calls it, and then did a handoff again and back to the Grow Me skill, from which I produced a PRD, and within the PRD created several issues, right? So the issues map to an epic, and then each epic has typically between 1 and 4 issues, and an issue basically is things that need to be worked on concurrently. That's the definition that I've used. All right, so that's the planning process. And subsequently, I've actually gone ahead and implemented it as well using the TDD skill from Matt Pocock and, some manual intervention, but very little. I've tried as much as possible to be completely hands off and not, um, yeah, and basically not interfere with the process. So it's very vibe engineered or vibe coded in that sense. That's what I've done so far. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot this off to Devin, and Devin is essentially going to say, hey, this is implemented, but it doesn't actually meet the specification, because that's actually been my experience. If I'm not hands-on testing it and manually intervening a lot, then it starts to go off course and it doesn't meet the original requirements, even though like all of the tests pass, because it ensures that the test pass at the very least before moving on. So what I've done is I've created a Kanban board in GitHub Projects using V2 of GitHub Projects. And so it just has 4 simple or standard columns, and then a 5th one for blocks. Right? And you'll see what that means later on. I've also created a fine-grained personal access token, which I'm going to be using to allow Devin to manipulate this over here. All right. And that's all the preamble. And now I'm going to go to Devin, and I am going to give it some instructions on what to do. Hi, Devin. I have added 2 repos. The first is Devin Control C, and this is the main repo that you will need to work on. The second is Devin Control C Plan, and this is a planning repo which contains the details such as architecture, shaping, breadboards, PRDs, issues, and Graphify output that have all been implemented. All right, so I have fixed up the prompt, right? Retyped it essentially from my dictation. So essentially, phase 1 is for analysis, and phase 2 is for implementation. And I've broken it up to 5 steps to tell Devin what to do. All right. And I have already linked these 2 repos Devin Control C plan and Devin Control C. So it needs to start work. So let's kick it off. And while it's churning, I am probably just going to pause this video and come back to it once we have actually got some results from Devin. All right, that's it for this video. See you in the next one.